Intrusive Fred.
Do it again. Sit. Down. Good boy. You're so smart. You're so smart. Boy.
Get the ball, Oliver.
Go get the ball. Go get the ball.
Get the ball.
Go get the ball.
Goofballs. On we go. Alright, so I have a bunch stripped back here. All the insulation's out. It was in these little ribs. You can see down here where there was, insulation up to the wood. But the wood's all junk, so we're getting back to the actual bulkhead now. I did get the bolts out of this heating pipe, but there's an elbow right on the other side, which is all brass. So I did a little cutting. You can see there with the Sawzall, but it was just bouncing around too much, causing me a bunch of grief. I'm gonna try, this might just barely be long enough. See if I can get through that. And then we'll be able to remove this completely. Once that's out, my focus is gonna shift to the big heater core over the driver's seat, get that out, and then all the heating components will be out of this living space. So then we can redirect our energies to laying out some floor plan. I want to get some chalk down or some paint and figure out where the bathroom walls are going to be. I think that's a next logical place so I can really understand what I'm doing. And then we'll be moving on to touch-up paint, sanding, that sort of stuff around all these lips and around those windows. So yeah, time to get this out of here. Well, that's not tight at all for some reason. I'll have to get the wrench. I saw a spark and I was wondering what the heck happened. Yeah, that's certainly not right. What the hell? Look at that flopping around. Okay, I'll be right back. Alright, well the nut was on backwards, dummy. Don't know if that was me or Dad, but somebody screwed up. What do we think? Is that gonna work? Well, I think I really need my 6-inch, but did I get through it enough, maybe, to bend it? I don't know. Let's go check it out. I think if we head back here, we're not quite there yet. Think I can spin that up, maybe? I don't know. I might need the 6-inch grinder. You guys know popular movie where he says, "I may not be a smart man." Well, I think that's me right now. Because I totally forgot that this pipe wasn't very long. It only goes to there. So, I was able to do that. And I have a feeling it's going to come right out. No cutting needed. Yep. No cutting needed. Ugh. I feel stupid. Well, sometimes you're just too into the project to use your thinker. I should have known they didn't assemble that in place. Oh, that was a dumb move. And I don't know why I'm still harking on not cutting some of this stuff. Because I'm about to cut the other line because I'm just frustrated. And, it's old. No one needs this stuff. I gotta be realistic. I don't want to store it. And so on. So anyway. I gotta make a cut up here. Which is going to be a good opportunity for the grinder, not the Sawzall. I'll show you where. Talking about right here on this return pipe. Right where it goes below the floor. I'm just going to cut it, get it out of my way. Because I've had enough of this project. And that'll be the entire pipe going all the way to the front. Removed. So, let's do that right now. Well, it's free. It's one very large pipe. Goes all the way. Back, up over the wheel well. And it's cut right down there. So, I'm with Bree today. She's inside reading her book. I'm gonna go grab her. We'll move this out of here. Bendy. Guys, I'm just vacuuming like crazy, trying to get everything cleaned up. But pulling out this fiberboard here, which was behind the heater, and look what was on the back of this one. That's pretty cool. So it says GMC Truck and Coach Division of General Motors, Plant 2, Building 31, Dock 22, South Boulevard, F, Pontiac, Michigan. Was that an I? It's either I-43 or L43.2273465. And then it says 520. I think that says 53 through 59. So pretty cool how they printed the shipping info right on this material when they were building the buses. So I'm going to save that for sure. So I'm just getting these final mounts out of here. It looks like we have one Phillips holding them on. So those are screwed into the wood, so hopefully they'll come out. I'm going to whack them with the hammer and the Phillips, and then I'll go back with the impact Phillips. That seems to work pretty well, which will get this final area cleaned up. We'll pull up this other bypass line, this little guy here, and we'll have all this junk off of this side of the floor. So we're making waves. We're making good progress here. So it's finally time to take down this big heater core up here, and I'm just kind of inspecting the way that it's held in place. There's definitely some screws, which I think just hold this bottom tin on. So we're gonna take those out first just to get the tin out of the way, less weight. And I think we're gonna find that the core itself is held up somehow into this big steel bracket here. And I was just admiring this twisted metal strap. I love that. You know, after working on the Jeep, which hopefully you've all seen, and witnessing over-engineering at its finest, I love simple solutions. That's brilliant. I mean, more companies should do that. You simply take a straight piece of metal, twist it down, ta-da, problem solved. We don't need to cast some stupid bracket or, you know, make an L in a vise or whatever. You simply just twist that, ta-da, and it's connected. And that has worked. It's rock solid. Simple, simple, simple. Anyway, quick rant. And again, for those that haven't seen, or maybe I didn't do a good job filming it, this is a giant heater core. And that has to go bye-bye. We're not going to use it. I might hang on to this instead of scrapping it. It could be a good radiator for some crazy project someday. I don't know. Give me your ideas if you have any. But first things first, let's get those Phillips out. All these little Phillips around the edge. And pull this thing down. So I opened up this access panel. And you can see that it's got another blower on the driver's side. So there's two blowers up there. One over there, and one over there. Powered by a large, very large electric motor in the middle. This assembly is going to be heavy. I see other screws in there. I don't think it's just going to drop out of here easily. We're going to have some work cut out for us. I see another bracket here though. That's actually holding up the core. So I'm still hoping that somehow this tin will be easily removed versus the whole core. Down here, I don't know. I mean, it's all connected, it looks like. There's a bracket for the actual core, a bolt for the actual core. And then this angled piece here goes to this tin. This thing's gonna be a pain for sure to get out of here. So I'm at the point now where I think this outer tin is actually just held on by glue. I don't know for sure, but it kind of seems like it's gonna drop out of here. So I think it's time to start wiggling and prying a bit. I mean, it's really tight, but over here it's not. So, time to maybe jam the screwdriver in some of these seams and figure out if that's gonna come out. Yeah, see, there it goes. It's moving. It's weird. Yeah, I think it is just glue, because it wants to come. Ow. Yep. There she goes. And, oh yeah, we are full of mice. That's a lot of mouse. Glad these blowers didn't work and I never turned them on. There she comes. That's actually pretty easy to take down. Oh my gosh. Blech. That is disgusting. Very, very gross. Alright, I'm gonna take this right out of here if I can. And I'll meet you guys outside because dang, we got some mouse stuff to dispose of. Well, here we are in the wonderful out of doors, and holy Toledo. And for reference, that's a lot of mouse nests. And it's probably rare that people see these fully intact. So you see, there's our entry exit hole. Then over here, another one, and that's how they go in and out, and And for as disgusting as mice are, it does look like to me, this is where they did the nasty bits, and this is where they lived. Or maybe that's just an old nest that got too gross. That's down on one of the blowers. There's still a bunch of that in there, so I'll show you that inside. But we'll put this in the bin and be all done. Back inside, here's our blowers, and here's the other mouse nest, which is wet and gross. Looks like it was the bathroom nest, all up in the blower. So we're gonna have to yank that out of here by hand and get that all cleaned up. Now, I still need to make a decision on whether or not up front here we're gonna keep the tin all the way across, and I might modify this tin to put like a drawer in there. The alternative to that is to remove this piece and that and do some sort of wood. But the intersection here of this tin and this, you know, it won't be as smooth as this side here. This side, I have tin going all the way back. So I think I do want to put it back. So what we're probably gonna do is take this down, remove the core, remove the blowers, and then rehang this bracket, because that's what holds the tin in place. Or maybe not. I need to think on that, because if I want to put a custom drawer in there, I guess I would attach the tin to that assembly somehow. So most likely this will all come out. That makes more sense. My brain's kicking in here, and you know, I couldn't put a drawer in because it would run right into the bracket. So I think once we have this all out, we'll hold the tin back up in place and try and understand where our connections are and how we can integrate a drawer into there. Or maybe not. Maybe it just needs to be an empty hole, because for the sake of, you know, this looking nice with all the tin. Anyway, let's get that mouse nest out of there. Oh, we got a nice rag. It's pretty high quality. This is a healthy nest, man. This is big. Got a stick. These guys were doing a little mansion. I'm gonna have to come back for another bucket. Holy Toledo. We got grass, we got blankets, leaves. This might have been like a chipmunk or a squirrel, not a mouse, because that's pretty intense for mice. I think they were neighbors. That's probably what it was. We had mice over here, and shit next door. Ugh. Yeah, it's still wet. Gross. That's nasty. There's some wiring in here that's gonna have to be addressed, I'm sure. I can feel the wiring right in the middle of the nest, so it's a good chance they chewed that up. Some insulation. Oh, that's disgusting. The bottom of the nest is always the worst part. All wet, full of urine and junk. Blech. Feel like I'm digging for gold, and I've come across a septic system. that's probably enough of that. Have to let the vacuum do the rest. Oh, here's some up here I missed in this wiring loom. Stick. Well, they use the wiring as like a structural component of their house. Oh yeah, that's the truss for the second story. Didn't you know? Jeez. Yeah, so there's a big wire that has a hole in it. I don't know what that does. Probably the power to this blower. This big, huge electric motor. Chewed right through. All right. Tasty. Okay, so with the mess cleaned up, we can at least kind of figure out what's holding up the rest of this stuff. So as far as I can tell, the blower assembly is just held in by little machine screws like everything else. Take these off for these intakes. Or actually, maybe that blows up. So the way this system works is this is your intake side. These blow up into the heat. And then on the other side of the heat, this entire space fills with warm air. And that controls the bus. That controls the entire system. All from this switch right here. Thermomatic. It has normal operation and off. That's it. Everything else was automatically controlled by various sensors and switches like we discussed. So these obviously hold the motor in. These are also attached to the assembly. Looks like those are aluminum fans. That's cool. And as far as I can tell, that system can remain in place, and this core can come out separately, I think. What am I looking at here for attachment points? So there's one up there. We already discussed that. Can you see anything up here? Other side of the wiring, it's hard to tell. I don't think there's a whole lot holding that in there. I think it's just those three. That would be really cool, wouldn't it? So we got 1, 2, 3. And if it's just those three, we'll have this out of here in no time. Wishful thinking. Let's find out. The crazy places I have to get wrenches to hold this stuff is kind of funny. But I think we might be able to do it, if I can at all, to keep this from spinning. Well, it worked. Just pure luck, I guess. My piece of junk. Should have known better. Not a lot of use on this swivel socket at all, and it just let go. Luckily it's got a lifetime warranty, but that's very disappointing. There's the short extension. Good. Luckily it was already loose, so I didn't have to use my wrench again. Okay, next, this one back here, and maybe this thing will drop out of here. Let's find out. That came right off. All right, who's taking bets? Is it gonna come out? Is it stuck? Did I miss something? As far as what holds it in. Ooh, it's heavy. Yep. Okay. Found the problem. This bracket over here has to come out which might just be one screw. Got some rubber up here that's holding it. And, jeez, I think it's out. Holy heck. Ah. I got a wire. Hold it up. All right. We done did it. Holy crap. Oh. Ah. There it is. And if that's copper, wow. Maybe I won't keep it because scrap for this thing has to be insane. Wow, that is just so well made and ridiculously heavy. We got a little corrosion up here. I'm not sure that was leaking. I think that's mouse damage. This thing's in excellent condition. So, looks like brass tanks, copper core. That thing is insane. And there's no way it's just coolant weight. I think it just weighs that much. It's gotta be, what, 3 inches thick at least, copper core. So, I think it'll be worth my while to bust it out of this bracket to scrap it if I decide to scrap it. But dang, that's crazy. Okay, back to important things. Well, I mean, that really does open up that space, like a lot. So I think, you know, even with the tin back in, I'm not sure, guys. I really want my tin all the way down. I think it's super cool. So maybe we'll just have to make something custom here, like, you know, mimic this panel. There's even a possibility that panel exists. So like I said, there were three climate control options for these buses. There was Thermomatic, there was something else, and then there was standard. And the standard, I don't know if it had this big assembly. I honestly don't. I would think that was the same in every bus. It was just manually controlled. But I do not know for sure. You can see how the thermostat pipe goes down to the blowers. 1953, guys, and it's all automatically controlled. All right, so these came out no problem. Got those little fins off and those out. Now these are 9/16. They do have a bolt on the other side right there. And then these guys here are the same story, 9/16. Pretty rusty, so I think I'm gonna put some PB Blaster on those. Going to that rubber mount in the front. And then I think, aside from the wiring, which we're just gonna cut, as you can see it's damaged from mice, that assembly should come out. You can see, yeah, so this solenoid is what powered the fans. That's where the wiring goes. Again, very cool, all automatic. Let's keep going. Okay, so that's ready. Tucker. Hi, are you visiting? Tucker's here with us today. Go play. Or come say hi. Yeah. What do you think of your bus? What do you think? Oh, that's nice. Okay, go play. Go. Go on, go play. Go on. Good job. So anyway, these came out. One of them was a bit of a struggle. This is the last thing holding it in. The nut is off, but I just got to knock that bolt out. And I want to cut those wires over there. And after that, it should walk right out. Is that going to rotate out of there? Looks like it. And I want to we stuck on? Well, the fan shrouds want to move quite a bit on the motor. Well, even though we cut the wires, they're hanging me up somehow. All right, cut them again. Oh, down she comes. Oopsie. Heavier than I thought. Luckily, we didn't break the windshield. Oh. And I don't think we broke the steering wheel. I do like my steering wheel. Looks okay. Wow, that's heavy. Oh yeah, there's another tie right there. So I cut them down here where they were ripped from the mice, but whatever. So here's an issue with our wiring up to our lights. There's no insulation, so we'll have to deal with that. And looks like there's some more mouse nonsense up there. So hopefully we can just take that marker light off and clean that. Let me go look. Yeah, I think once that light comes off, we'll be able to clean that out. And also it has to do with this venting right here. So, excellent. Okay, so I just pulled the thermostat out. And next steps are gonna be over here. We had these coolant lines going down to more switches and stuff, all related to the thermomatic climate control. So some of this is obvious, some of this is not. Some of this is air that's gonna have to be plugged. But most of it should be pretty easy to remove. It looks like there was a huge harness here, which had to do with more additional foot blowers. That was cut a long time ago. So basically that entire harness, as I assumed, yeah, I mean, I don't even need to look in my book. If that harness is cut and it all is these wires here, that means everything that is on here can be removed. I'm not using any of that for the thermomatic. Likewise, this little solenoid in here could be removed. At the very least, I'm gonna remove power from it if I'm not gonna waste time on removing the solenoid. But anyway, I will consult the book just to be sure, but we know, you know, this harness here, cut, goes all the way up, doesn't have any offshoots, and every wire that comes out of that harness is not needed. So we'll get rid of that. That's the next steps. But I think once again, I have enough here for a full video. I'm gonna wrap it up with you guys for today. I'll keep working and I'll see you in the next part. Thanks for watching Highlandshire. Bye-bye.